Hello students, I welcome you all again in this lecture series on English, linguistics and phonetics. This is the third lecture from unit number 1, that is ELT in India, and this third lecture is the second part of the topic Advent and Rise of English in Pre-Independence India. My dear students, in the previous lecture we tried to understand why English was introduced in India as a part of colonial policy, and in this lecture we will continue that journey and will try to understand how English education developed further and how it started influencing Indian society in deeper ways. As students of English, I would also like you to uh, connect these events rather than memorizing the events, and try to see how these policies, language, and power are always interlinked. If you follow this approach, then it will help you develop a global perspective, because this global perspective is very important for us to understand the status of English in the global scenario. So here in this slide we are going to discuss the Wood's Dispatch, which came in 1854. Dear students, Wood's Dispatch of 1854 is often called the Magna Carta of English education in India, because it gave a clear structure to the education system in India. It promoted the establishment of universities, teaching training institutions, and even encouraged female education, which was quite progressive for that particular time. Wood's Dispatch also supported both English and vernacular languages, at least in theory, if not in practice. So now students, there is a question for us to think on. Why did the British suddenly invest more in education? Was it for our development or for better administration? During this lecture series, we will try to find the answers which will help us move from simple understanding to critical analysis of the concept English language teaching in India. So after Wood's Dispatch in 1854, universities were established in Calcutta, Bombay and Madras, and English became the main medium of higher education. English was also used in courts and administration, which made it very important for employment at that time. And slowly and gradually, English became associated with power, prestige, and success. However, the system mainly benefited the urban elite and neglected rural population and primary education. So, dear students, we all know while opportunities increase, inequality also increases. So, as a learner of English, we should try to understand and see both sides of any development. That is the essence of balanced thinking. After Wood Dispatch and the universities established in Calcutta, Bombay and Madras, in 1882, Hunter Commission was introduced. The Hunter Commission focused more on primary education and supported the use of vernacular language at the basic level. At the basic level means from the primary. It recognized that education should reach the masses, not just the elite. At the same time, it did not ignore the importance of English, and this shows a kind of dual system developing in India. You see, local languages for basic education and English for higher education. So, can you notice how this division still exists in some form every even today in India? This is how history connects to our present reality. Dear students, in 1904, Lord Curzon felt that the quality of education in India was declining. So he introduced reforms through the Indian Universities Act of 1904. And these reforms increased government control over universities. While the intention was to improve standards, it also reduced academic freedom. And one of the most important debates during this time was about the medium of instruction. Should education be in English or in mother tongue? Many supported a bilingual approach as it would combine global access with local understanding. But practical challenges made it difficult to implement. And my dear students, even today, this debate continues in India. So, students, think about your own learning. Do you understand concepts better in your mother tongue or in English? After 1904, Lord Curzon's reform came Sadler Commission, and the Sadler Commission again emphasized the importance of mother tongue education and suggested a balanced bilingual system. It also pointed out the problems of introducing English too early in education. And this shows that even during colonial times, there was awareness about the importance of a strong foundational learning, which we are somewhere missing. So, as a learner, we should remind ourselves that language is not just a subject, rather, it is a medium through which we understand the world and we express ourselves to the world. And interestingly, English, which was introduced by the British, later became a tool against them. We already discussed this in the first lecture that British used English as a tool for the administration. But eventually, Indians used it as a tool to show their protest and show to the world that how they are being oppressed and suppressed by the British colonies. So, English, which helped educated Indians communicate across regions and share ideas of freedom, equality, and democracy. Leaders used English to express their thoughts and challenge British rule. And my dear students, this is a very important insight that can tools of power become tools of resistance? And then later on, the formation of the Indian National Congress in 1885 brought leaders like Surendranath Banerjee and Dadabhai Naoroji together. And English became their common language of communication and expression. However, the education system still had limitations. Um, for example, it only focused on literature and theory and did not provide practical skills. In simple way, we can say that at that time the Indians were reading English literature and the theories, and They did not understand, or rather, I should say, English as a communicative medium was far beyond their approach. And it was for the common people. However, the education system still had, as I told you, had its limitation. So, from this experience or from this particular understanding, we should uh, we should rather, we should rather understand that education should be meaningful and applicable, rather than theoretical and uh, based on uh, just the theory part. So we should always rather ask ourselves that whatever I am learning uh, is really useful in my real life or not. So efforts were made to expand primary education, especially through leaders like Gopal Krishna Gokhale, who advocated compulsory education. And the government also started supporting primary education, but progress was a little slow. And my dear students, this shows that policy alone is not enough. Implementation is equally important. And we should also understand this gap between the intention and reality. But over time, English became a lingua franca. Lingua franca means a common language connecting people from different linguistic backgrounds in India. In a country with so many languages, English acted as a neutral link language. It helped Indians in communication, education, and administration. And today also we can see that English plays a vital role in our country. So instead of looking at or seeing English only as a colonial language, we must now understand its functional importance in our modern India. So, dear students, in this lecture, we understood the growth of English in India, which was shaped by colonial policies, but its impact went far beyond that. It created opportunities, but also inequalities, and it connected people, but also created divisions. Even today, the debate between English and English Indian languages continues. So, as a learner, we should always remember that history is not just about the past, rather, it helps us understand the present and shape the future. So, my suggestion to all of you is don't just study these developments of English language teaching in India, but reflect on them, question them, and connect them into your own experiences. And that is the true spirit of a learner. Thank you so much. We will meet in the next lecture.